You have to start becoming more delusional. And this is coming from someone who is extremely delusional, and people have told me for years that I'm crazy and that I won't make certain dreams come true because it's too unrealistic. I go to the #1 HBCU tuition free. And it's not because I'm more special than you or I have a hidden gift or talent that you don't have or anyone else has. I did not have parents who had master's degrees or doctorates. I did not come from a wealthy family. I came from a lower middle class area. I had a regular education. I didn't do a whole bunch of extracurricular activities that set me apart from everyone else. A misconception that a lot of people have is that successful people have something that other people do not have. Millionaires, actors, musicians, they are just like us. The thing that's separating you from them is your drive and your delusion and your willingness. I think a lot of people weren't taught to put in effort to make an idealized version of themselves. A lot of people are asked when they're young, money-based question, what do you want to be? But no one's ever asked, who do you want to be? What do your routines look like? How do you want to feel? It's extremely important to truly embody, to truly feel, truly get acquainted with people who inspire you, whose lives that you would want to live. And not saying that you should copy and paste, but looking into their lives and seeing what they do and seeing how they maneuver, asking them questions like, how do you feel? What did you feel when this happened? Having a mentor is extremely important to kind of make your delusion less unrealistic feeling. And a lot of times you are going to think, oh my God, how is this even possible? Why would I ever dream this? This seems crazy. Truly understanding that things are realistic, no matter how unrealistic they seem to other people, is extremely important. I feel like a lot of people, when I first told them my goals and my dreams and my ambitions, were like, girl, you're crazy. Even when I told my mom, I said, Mom, I want to go to Spelman College for free. My mom said, girl, I want it to happen for you, but you haven't gotten a single scholarship yet, girl. I don't know about this. That did hurt my feelings. She didn't mean anything by it. If you've been raised in an environment where you don't see a lot of success, you don't see constant success, you don't see wealthy people all the time, you don't see people getting all of their goals constantly met, you're seeing a lot of grief, a lot of loss, a lot of detriment in your community, you're not going to be designed, you're not going to be wired to think in an abundance mindset. You're not going to think these unrealistic goals are attainable, because all you're surrounded by is people who haven't been able to reach their goals, who have been stuck or have allowed other people to write their narrative for them. And I will not deny at all that there are so many amounts of structures implemented to keep us down, to keep us in a mindset of lack, to keep us suffering and sick. And I'm not saying that, people who are struggling in our communities are weak mindseted or they don't have the mind to create something better for themselves. A lot of the times we are wired intentionally to not have dreams, to not think of ourselves in the highest form that we possibly can and beyond. We're not taught that. We are taught to be disenfranchised. We are taught to be okay with being sick and being mistreated. But the thing is, we can write our own story. We can write our own story, and we can't wait around. We can't have a victim mindset when it comes to creating dreams for ourselves and creating a reality that we want to live every single day. We have to keep creating and creating and creating. And that's one of the biggest things, is instead of consuming, create for yourself. That's what all of your favorite people are doing. SZA is one of my favorites. Janae Aiko, one of my favorites. Kelly Uchis is one of my favorites. They are creators. They create their own reality. They don't consume other people's realities. And when they do consume, it is about allowing people to inspire you and for you to make your connections and for you to spread your love and for you to be acquainted with other mindsets, other thoughts. One of the biggest things that I had to stop doing personally is consuming everyone else's media. I was chronically online ever since I was in elementary school. I was the queen of consumerism, scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling mindlessly. And I was intaking the lives of other people's, but I was not living my own life. And that's the biggest thing. You have to learn how to live your own life. And we're not taught to live our own life. We are wired through social media. Psychologists who work with these social media platforms are designing to create social media that keeps us trapped, that keeps us wired, that keeps us consuming. And then with that, we don't live. with that, we remain distracted. With that, our attentions go towards consumerism, and that's how they make money. But when you realize this and you kind of get out of that trap, you realize that there's so much to love around you. Even if you are in cities or towns that aren't the best, that don't have a ton of opportunities or opportunities wired towards what you would like to do, there's still things to be grateful for. There's still so many things to explore. I learned my passion of nature and my love for nature through being out in nature in my hometown. My hometown didn't have a lot of people who I thought were extremely inspirational. And that's why I think a lot of my people from my hometown kind of stay stuck, because they weren't introduced to people who, were inspirational for them when they were younger. There weren't foundations for them set to really believe, oh my God, this person's doing it. It's realistic. It's attainable. I can do it too. They didn't get that. Since I didn't have these role models or figures to look up to when I was younger, I did go on social media and I found them on there. It doesn't have to be the real deal, but I also don't want you to get into the trap of looking at people and getting jealous or getting weighed down because you either see them as competition or you see them as people who are supernatural, that, they have something that I don't. That's not true. Zendaya started off regular, just like us. If you hear these people's success stories, you will be amazed. SZA went to school for marine biology, dropped out. She literally worked at a strip club. People come from similar backgrounds as us. They are not people who already had things to begin with. They are just like us. Kelly Uchis is also one of my big inspirations as well. She was talking about how she literally got kicked out the house as a child and she was on her own. And then now she makes millions. She makes millions and now she has her own family. She has her dream life. And it's not because she already had things to begin with. No, she did not come from a wealthy family. She did not have all these luxuries that, other people may have. She was just like us, if not worse. But the thing is, she had a belief, she had trust, and she had faith. You don't need any of these material things. You just need trust, faith, and you need to pray. I think prayer is essential into being who you want to be. Asking the universe and building a relationship with the universe or God, whatever you believe in, and really committing that you're going to make it, you're going to do it. You are consistently aspiring to be whatever you want to be. Even if you don't believe in the universe or God, spiritual, religious, anything, at least journal, at least say, I want to blah, 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 blah. I want to feel blah, blah, blah. Because it really is worth it. It really, really, really is worth it. Expressing to yourself, writing it down somewhere. That changes your brain chemistry. Write it down, write it down, write it down, write it down. There are so many writing prompts. There are so many journals specifically designed towards you creating your ideal self. It all just starts with the vision. You have to have the vision. You have to want to be better for yourself. You have to want to create for yourself. Because no one else is going to want that but you. You have to be the one to do it. You have to be the one to work on it. You have to be the one to strive and work for it. And when I say work for it, I don't mean slaving over it. I think one of the most important things that I have learned during this journey is not working so hard all of the time. I think taking breaks, having rest days, loving yourself, whatever that means to you. If you need a break and you just need to shut everything off and not talk to people, do that. Do that in a healthy way, yes. You don't have to keep begging and begging and begging and begging and asking for the same thing over and over and over again. And then that's what I mean by trust. When I say trust, I mean trusting in the universe, trusting in God, trusting in whatever higher power you believe in, that you're going to attain it. You're going to reach your goals. You're going to get better. You're going to do better for yourself. Even if you don't have the motivation right now, it's still going to come. You don't have to slave over it. A lot of the times, I didn't have motivation to do a lot of the things that led me to where I am today. I was diagnosed with depression and I was told sitting in your room for hours and hours and hours is not healthy. I literally got put on depression med. I was not living the life that I wanted and I was stuck in this weird space of feeling almost paralyzed to make any action because I felt so tired. I felt so sick of being somewhere mentally and somewhere physically in my present reality that I didn't want to be in. I was living my life for other people and it made me sick. I wouldn't get out of my bed for days. All I would do, I would just wake up and go to class. I wouldn't want to talk to anyone. I wouldn't want to spend time with my friends. I wouldn't want to do anything except stay in my bed and scroll on my phone because it was the only thing that was giving me dopamine. I barely even fed myself. And I'm not trying to glamorize it. I'm not trying to romanticize that life. It was awful. Even though all of this have happened, I am where I want to be right now in life. I am where I want to be right now in life. I have my dream apartment right now. I didn't even think I could do that, but here it is. And I'm so grateful for it. I'm so grateful for it. Like, it's incredible to even think about. I got a raise at my job. Like, I feel so blessed. And one of the biggest things also is having gratitude and holding gratitude every day. Every day when I wake up, I say 5 things that I'm grateful for. Even if I'm having a terrible day, I at least say one thing. The sun's shining. The sun is shining. That in itself is a blessing. Even if I have nothing in my fridge, I at least have a banana, or at least I have a piece of bread, or at least I have my refrigerator that has ice and water. At least I can get clean water every single day. It doesn't have to be something magnificent. You don't have to be like, I don't have my Hellcat right now, so I can't be grateful. Yes, you can. You have clean air, you're breathing right now, you're walking, you're talking, you're hearing, you're seeing right now. That in itself is a blessing. You get to communicate with people, you get to talk to your friends, you get to talk to your family. That is in itself a blessing. A lot of people don't have these things that you have, and they are suffering and they are sad every single day. There are people locked up in hospital beds right now that wish they could have your life. Even if you are sitting in bed rotting away every day, they wish they at least had the freedom to do that, but they are stuck. So please, please, please don't take anything for granted. And I think also shifting your mind and realizing that abundance isn't having thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. That's not what abundance is. Abundance is gratitude, it's love, it's compassion, it's sharing your love, your compassion, your energy with the world. That's what abundance is. And other people doing the same to you. Stop thinking that you're going to do this on your own. I didn't do anything on my own. Even when my mom was like, girl, I don't know if you're going to get in college for free, she still helped me out. I think sometimes we forget the hard work, the self-discipline, the drive that you have to kind of have in order to get the goals that you want to have. When I got free tuition, it's not because, I got one scholarship and it paid for everything. No. I have multiple scholarships. I applied for multiple scholarships, and this has made me have free tuition. I put in the work, I put in the time, I put in the effort. I made sacrifices. I made worthy sacrifices. I didn't hang out with my friends every weekend. I didn't hang out with my boyfriend at the time every single day. Even though I wanted to, I made sacrifices. My mom said, girl, you're going to have to stay inside and do some scholarships. I said, you know what? Yeah. It really is just rewiring your mind and helping you kind of understand that you are capable, you are worthy of having and becoming whatever you want to become or have. Being a millionaire is not unattainable. Being a doctor, being a lawyer, that's not unattainable. Doing whatever you want in this life is not unattainable. You can do it any time that you want. Even if you're 20 years old, even if you're 30 years old, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, you can still do it. I'm editing this video and I wanted to also add that abundance is never limited. There's not a limit on how much money you get. There's not a limit on how much food you have access to. Just because someone else has something does not mean that you're not able to get that exact same thing, if not more. So keep that in mind. Time is so beautiful. Please do not waste your time. Like I said earlier, please stop consuming the lives of others whose life you do not want to live. Staying on the shade room and consuming all these people you don't even like, whose lives you don't even want to live, that's draining your brain, that's depleting your energy, that's making you waste time. All that time that you are doing consuming could go into you perfecting your craft, loving yourself more. It could be going into you providing more resources to your community, to loving your community, to supporting your community. But instead, you're looking at this media, you're focusing on the negative, you're letting this media weigh you down and deplete your energy at the beginning of the day, right when you wake up, and making that energy stay consistent throughout your day, making you feel depleted throughout your day. That's not healthy. That's not going to get you where you want to be. And this is a problem amongst millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of people across the world staying stuck on social media. Yes, it is a form of escapism if you are feeling depressed, if you are going through trauma, if you are, experiencing very hard times. It is a way that you can get your dopamine up, but it's cheap dopamine, it's fake dopamine. You have to get out. You have to start building this life for yourself. You have to start caring about yourself. You have to start caring enough to start putting in the work. There are things that you can do that are very simple, very easy, and you can look it up. Simple and easy ways to get up and start becoming more motivated, to start building a life for myself. Even if you think that you have depression or that you're suffering depressive symptoms, you can search up micro habits that people who may be suffering from depression or a lack of motivation can do in order to gain a level of motivation, in order to start having a drive for themselves, to start wanting to love themselves more and to start putting in the effort to making their life better, to enhancing their lives, to enhance the lives of others, this is where you need to be. You have to be unwavering in what you want to do and who you want to be and how you want to feel. You have to really embody it. If I want to feel abundance, if I want to feel prosperous, I look up meditation and or yoga for abundance, for prosperity, and I do it. I channel that energy. I channel whatever feeling I want to feel, and I do it. I feel it. Even if it feels fake for that moment, I still try to feel it. I didn't feel very pretty. I didn't feel very confident a couple weeks ago. So I wrote self-love, beauty affirmations, abundance affirmations for myself to increase my self-confidence. So I do feel what I want to feel. So I do feel what I want my future self to feel. I create opportunities for me to step into whatever feeling I want my future self to feel. I have ADHD, and it's hard to stay on routine sometimes, but even if you do it one day and you forget, or there's just a lot going on, or you need a break and you do it 2 or 3 days later, that's still you doing the habit. And after a while, if you keep doing it and doing it and doing it, it'll become easier and easier and easier for you, and you can start making it a consistent habit. Then you can start planning it on your calendar, and it can be something that you can rely on, every single week, every single day, whatever pattern you want to have. But the thing is, you have to keep doing it. You can't give up. You can't say, I'm going to go to the gym on Monday, but then you don't do it for 2 months. And then you're like, oh, I don't see any gains, because you're not consistent. Willpower alone can only do so much. You have to kind of work with your biology, even the microbiome in your gut. That can impact your mental health, and then your mental health can impact your habits, and then your habits can impact your life. So little things really do matter and really do add up. But thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you so much. And if you really enjoyed this video, thumbs it up, give me a like, subscribe if you want. Until next time, I'll talk to you later.